Welcome back to the studio of IFO Junior, and we are now continue with a talk with our expert about time management. And we just talked briefly about the definition of time management, how important it is, and also some style that you coach to the students and the parents. So could you give more specific practical exercises for the students to better manage their time?
There's this concept that's called basically time blocking. So what my team of mentors and I, working with students one-on-one, right, every Sunday, so the beginning of the week, we'll make them plan out their entire calendar for the entire week ahead, right? So talking about Sunday through next Saturday, and actually we do it for 2 weeks, but we focus the majority of the details kind of on the next 7 days. And so time blocking is this idea, very simple in itself, like where basically taking an individual day, 24 hours, really take away 8 hours of that, 16 hours left that you're going to use, and basically break it into chunks throughout the day of what we're going to do. So for the next 7 days, we make our students kind of put pen to paper, right? So if they go to school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., right, so that's blocked off. That's kind of a time block. There's really nothing they can do within there. But maybe from 3 p.m. to 10, which is what we're hoping, because 10 they go to bed. Within there, there's probably an hour, like we talked about, for dinner and washing up, cleaning up. But within there, you have what? You have roughly about 6 hours left, right? So 6 hours, I make them block off, right? So from the hours of 3 to 4, maybe they might have football practice, right? So that's 1 hour, right? So from 4 to, maybe they'll have dinner at 7. So 4 to 7, we have another 3 hours. What are you going to do there? Maybe you reserve 2 hours to do homework, right? But even specifically, what kind of homework? History homework, English homework, math homework, right? So we make them write it out. And we make them estimate. It's a good practice to estimate how long is it going to take me to do specific homework, right? I go into dinner from 7 to 8, and I have about 2 hours left, right? So 2 hours, maybe I reserve 30 minutes for chores, cleaning up dishes, taking out the trash, right? And I have an hour and a half to myself, right? And I make them plan it. So even if it's spending time with friends, right? This whole idea of time blocking is important because it allows you to see not just the next day, but the next 7 days on how to approach this.
So apart from the time blocking that you just mentioned, what are some other productivity tools or methods that students can apply?
Yeah, I mean, along with the time blocking thing, personally for me, I love, I'm not an advocate for Google or whatever, but it is free, right? It is effective. You can easily share it, and you can also, download onto multiple different tablets. My best friends are Google Calendar and Google Tasks. So Google Calendar, it allows me to kind of block my days out, my weeks, my months. I can share events that maybe if I'm doing a big project homework assignment, I can send an invite to other people. I like Google Tasks because it allows me to kind of drag share my emails, right? And it's kind of like your bucket list, like a laundry list. I need to do this day, right? And so when I think of a task list, what do I need to do today? What do I need to do this week? And what can wait beyond a week, right? And that's how I advise people.
It might sound challenging at first, but I believe that those could build up their good habits and also could make them get into the routine and become a better person with time management and discipline. And one more question, because I know that you are very experienced in assisting and advising students to get into top universities. And often we talk about time management, which is like limited to a typical day. So how about time management in a long term? How could we as students can plan our time and schedules in a long term, in the years ahead?
A few different ways to go about this. But if we're talking about specifically, long-term academic planning, long-term extracurricular planning, the stage where this becomes kind of paramount, right? And I guess stress becomes involved is part of the high school years, right? In Vietnam, it spans from grade 10 to grade 12, but really, beyond that, let's say in the US or Canada or wherever have you, it starts from the 9th grade. So it's important to kind of, for parents, for mentors, teachers, sitting down with your students, I would advise, at least on a monthly, but definitely on a quarterly basis. So what I like to do for my young students who are just starting high school, I need to help them understand, kind of the back end after you graduate from high school, what is the next step, right? And for most students, it's getting to college, getting to university, right? Well, let's work backwards, right? What do you need to achieve to get us to a good school, right? I don't want to say top university, it's just a university. And really, as you prepare for that, there's a few different things we work around. Academics is a must, right? You need to have good, strong academics. Eventually, standardized testing, depending on where you hope to pursue college, university, right? Extracurriculars, or what we say ECAs, extracurricular activities, are important. And then we say summer programming, which kind of a lot of students kind of leave behind and forget, is becoming increasingly important. And so understanding those four things, right, across 9th through 12th grade, each of those have different focuses, right? Definitely, I would say 10th grade, 11th grade, high on academics, right, and standardized testing.
That's right.
Extracurriculars, we're exploring in the 9th, 10th grade, right? But hopefully by 11th, 12th grade, we're specializing. Summer programming, kind of the same sense. 9th, 10th grade, we're slowly ramping. And then 11th, 12th grade, right, we're bringing it up, we're specializing. And so for my parents and my students, right, it's important that we take all those things, those 4 pillars, and then we distill it down each year, right? So I'm starting the 9th grade now, right?
Yes.
Tommy, 9th grader. Well, Tommy, what do you want to achieve this academic year, right? 9th grade is still a time to gain a solid foundation in academics, right? Math, science, English, or whatever language. It's still a time to explore my activities, right? I'm not a president or something. I'm not a captain yet, right? I'm just still exploring, figuring out who Tommy is not. And I'm exploring, summer opportunities. So it's important for me to outline those things. As I get into more advanced years, right? Like let's say 10th, 11th grade, now we have standardized tests, right? Whether it's like obviously name of the show, IELTS, whether we have other like, English proficiency tests or like aptitude tests, SAT, ACT, SAT subject tests, all those sorts of things. It's important that we outline clear goals for those things, right? Certain things take a certain amount of time. Standardized tests anywhere from 6 to 9 months. So let's program it down. Extracurricular activities, right? Let's just, for example, you wanted to be a doctor, right? Well, what are some science courses I need to take in the 9th, 10th grade so that I can take the advanced classes in 11th, 12th grade? What are some clubs I need to join, right, that could express my scientific knowledge, scientific excellence in competitions, or maybe allow me to gain that coveted research internship position, whether here in Vietnam or elsewhere, right? And then maybe what are some competitions I might want to join, right? And so all those things we need to, for my parents, right, sit down with your students, talk through goal setting, and then kind of through there, we help them prioritize, right? And we have to sit down with them definitely at the beginning of each school year. And I would advise like every quarter, so every 3 months, right? Well, Tommy, all right, so how are you doing in your academics? How are you doing in your extracurriculars, right? Standardized testing, it's time to enroll for this test. So it's important that you map this out, right? And this is what we do when we mentor students one-on-one.
Yeah, that's a very long-term process, huh?
Yeah.